Hundreds of San Francisco public workers rallied in front of a Bank of America building today to protest the city's tax breaks to big corporations. Protesters with the Service Employees International Union Local 1021 say they're frustrated with having to carry the cost of budget cuts while highly profitable companies are given tax exemptions. They're calling on banks and large firms to pay their fair share in the effort to close the city's $170 million budget gap. Aaron Peskin, chair of the San Francisco Democratic Party and former president of the Board of Supervisors, joined in the workers' fight.
It is time for the city to stop balancing the budget on the lowest paid workers' backs. It is time to stop. Thank you, SEIU, for stepping up when the city was going through a rough patch. Now it's the city's turn to make it right. Thank you, SEIU, for having the courage to stand up and remind the city that for the last 10 years, the largest corporations have gotten a tax holiday since the Filthy 52 sued San Francisco to get rid of our gross receipts tax system.
The elimination of the gross receipts tax in the late 90s resulted in a major tax cut for many large San Francisco corporations, which SEIU members say is costing the city an estimated $50 million per year in lost revenues. The gross receipts tax was replaced by a payroll tax on companies with payrolls over $250,000, which only applies to 10% of the city's businesses. SEIU members also say that under state law, banks and financial firms are exempted from all local business taxes in San Francisco. Larry Bradshaw, vice president of SEIU Local 1021, calls on the city to change that.
Take your hands out of the pockets of city workers. We're struggling hard to survive. We're having a hard time paying our mortgages. We're having a hard time meeting the increased cost of health care with the co-pays, with the increased premiums. Stop coming to us, right? Go downtown where the real money exists and tax them. We shouldn't be taxed at a higher rate than the CEO of McKesson.
Protesters say the business tax loopholes require San Francisco to skimp on public expenses, forcing it to shut down clinics and community centers, cut library hours, and hand out layoff notices to many employees in order to bridge the budget gap.